Hey everyone, and welcome to the Relief Valve Podcast, and now some truth about the Usaid program. So, hello everyone, and welcome. You're seeing a lot of craziness in the news right now, and you see the Democrats putting up a huge fuss and muss with Elon Musk being in there, him bringing his crew with permission of the President of the United States. Elon Musk has been made officially a special government agent or employee that will work a total of 130 days a year, non-paid, so voluntary, in order to have the authority to look into these agencies. Now he's in Usaid, and the Democrats are freaking out. The Democrats are freaking out because this has not only been a large money laundering scheme for them, and I'm going to point to you up here, and you're going to see some of it from where it originally came from, but also how they've spread influence all over the world. Now I'm going to give you a brief invite here about what this is. So the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, was established in 1961 by President John F. Kennedy. The creation of USAID came after Congress passed the Foreign Assistance Act, which reorganized foreign aid programs in the United States. How was it created? A Foreign Assistance Act passed by Congress on September 4th, 1961. This act reorganized foreign aid programs and required the creation of an agency to manage economic aid. President Kennedy signed an executive order on November 3rd, 1961, establishing USAID. Why was USAID created? Kennedy wanted to create a more efficient way to counter Soviet influence abroad. He wanted to unite several existing foreign assistance programs under one agency. So how did this start off originally? Originally, this started as a little bit like a CIA front business. So in locations where, a Yugoslavia, a South Africa, a Rwanda, etc., where the CIA either didn't have contacts or direct knowledge of what was going on in there, these assistance programs would go in and start reaching out to the local community and doing what their namesake was: food, water, supplies, and general aid and medicines to the locals, the unsuspecting locals. While they were there, they would act as an information agent for the CIA in order to give them useful information to get people on the ground: where to go, who to know, the best place to accomplish things. So their original intent was kind of a twofold thing, right? So going out and helping people, and then also being information sources on the ground. Over time, this changed, and it got taken over by the left as things went on. And then they started peddling, because they in their trying to think of the word I want, and of course I'm having a brain fart. Their MO, their modus operandi, right, is spreading democratic values and safety, all the left-wing woke ideology bullshit when they go anywhere. That's the reason you saw in one of my last videos that this money was going to transgender operas and all of this different just useless stuff that's garbage, right? And I've always asked myself, how did this woke leftism, this woke bullshit ideology make its way around the entire world? Did people from multiple countries all around the globe all finally decide one day that they wanted to try and start cutting genitalia off and thinking they don't want to be any gender and they want to be non-binary, and just coming up with these weird, ridiculous ideas that go completely against how normal human beings would act? And then you look at a group like USAID that is taking what happens here in the United States, and then they are pushing and promoting that ideology all over the world. And this cancer that is spread to the entire world starts to make a little more sense when you look at an agency like USAID. Now, just another reason why the Democrats are freaking out, right? If your twisted ideology spreads out to the entire world, then you have more support around the entire world as a Democrat. Because these people over here have turned into freakos, those people over there have turned into freakos. Everyone's turning into mentally ill freakos who can't figure out what their gender is and what they're doing. And this is all a benefit for them, sowing chaos around the world. And your only help, your only saving grace is to turn to the Democratic Party or the Socialist Party or the Labor Party or like whatever Democratic equivalent in another country is. They all work together for the same twisted goal, which is to push everyone into this lane. And you see that, and I'm not saying this is the one and only, but you see where the benefit for the Democratic parties, in this particular instance, that the Usaid is particularly useful for them. Now, it's also pumping money into other countries for, again, stupid, woke campaigns that they're working on. But this is also a quid pro quo that can be used as well, right? So we send you $50 million for your to have a transgender bicycle club. And in the meantime, when we have an initiative that we're pushing or we want support from your country, let's get that, because remember where that aid came from. Remember that money that came. All taxpayer dollars. So for everyone that is, and you see this story right here, right? Foreign governments have long accused the U.S. Agency for International Development of being a front for the CIA or other groups dedicated to their collapse. In the case of Cuba, they appear to have been right. In an eye-opening display of incompetence, the United States covertly launched a social media platform in Cuba in 2010. So what they did in that was, very quickly, was they set up a social media that was for hurricanes, interesting local news on the island and things like that to draw people in. As they drew people in and they got more people invested in their site, in their social media platform, they started pumping out anti-Cuba rhetoric and ways on how to fight back and revolt, protest, riot against the Cuban government, with the CIA and American government's hope that they will be able to turn Cuba's own citizens against them and have them go into open rioting and revolt, which would make it easier for the U.S. to step in and offer aid and then get a proper foothold in Cuba. So this has been proven. This is coming out on information on USAID right now and everything that I just told you. So USAID is a corrupt organization, an absolute waste of taxpayer dollars. Musk should absolutely be there with his crew. You know, when America voted for Trump, we were perfectly aware that Musk was by his side. We were perfectly aware that he was going to be setting up DOGE and the Department of Government Efficiency, and that he was going to be looking into the expenditures and how these government agencies are wasting taxpayer dollars. And it absolutely needs to be done, because what's coming to light and what we're learning, and I'm learning a lot of this stuff with all of you, and you know, I'm not afraid to admit I'm ignorant to some of these things that have been going on. They're important to know. They're important that we keep moving forward and we show our support for all this. Do not give in to the Democrats' fear-mongering. Do not give in to the screaming and hollering that they're trying to do right now. The absolute flipping out that's happening on X by the Democratic Party. Don't buy into it, and don't listen to them. The reason they're so scared, the reason they're flipping out the way they are, is because they do not want this to happen. They do not want the lights to be turned on in this agency for everyone to see. They're scared shitless, not only for it to be used as a CIA method, but for their money funneling one way and potentially the other as well, right? Right back in their pockets again. And if not directly from that agency, then indirectly from its actions. So if the Democrats are freaking out this much about this situation and what's happening at USAID, you know that the right thing is happening. If this were the other way around, that it was Republicans and they were looking into something and Republicans were freaking out, you would say, why are they so upset and what are they hiding, right? You would have the same thought process on the other side. So you're not wrong for thinking that what's happening here with USAID and what the action that Trump is taking is 100% necessary.